Hey, what's up? Tin Manly here. Do you know what is the most powerful animal on the planet? Is it lion or tiger or grizzly bear? If these animals are facing each other one-on-one, which one do you think will win in a fight? This video is inspired by my favorite Chinese YouTubers, Mr. and Mrs. Gao, where they talked about their top 10 animals. And in this video, I'm going to tell you what I think about their ranking, and I'll tell you where you can photograph them, other than going to the zoo. Number 10. Even though they are known as the king of the jungle, lions only ranked number 10. Adult lions can weigh up to 400 pounds with body length up to 9 feet. Their biting force is 650 pounds per square inch PSI, and human biting force is only 160 PSI. They can run at 50 miles per hour, and human record of Usain Bolt is about 30 miles per hour. Even at top speed, we can't outrun a lion. Most people would go to Africa to see lions. You can also find them in Asia, such as India. I remember on my first trip to Masai Mara National Reserve in Kenya, I was surprised that I didn't see a lot of male adult lions. The guy told me most males died before they become adults, usually killed by other lions. A group of lions is called a pride, and usually only 1 or 2 adult male lions, called the dominant males, will rule the pride. The rest in the pride are lionesses and cubs. Male lion has recognizable mane. The mane darkens as they age. The legendary lion Scarface, well, not the one from Lion King, which is called Scar, who recently passed away, has the signature black mane. I was fortunate to see his brother Baroni in November 2022. During that trip, I also saw Jesse too, the dominant male of the Moniko Pride in central Masai Mara. We were looking all over the place during a very foggy pre-dawn morning, and as we drove up a slope, all of a sudden we saw him laying down right next to us. I couldn't breathe. I used a 402.8 lens for that shot. Number 9. One of my wildlife encounters where my heart almost jumped out was when I was in India. We've been driving around for 2 days without any sighting. We heard some deer calling, like alarm call. Then our guy suddenly stopped the vehicle and whispered, "There." Then I saw the marking of the tiger, and within a few seconds, this male tiger showed up just a few feet from us. It's the first time I was just too chicken to even click on the camera shutter, afraid I would agitate him. The tiger brushed the back bumper of the vehicle, then he walked to a tree next to our vehicle and stood on his hind legs while marking, and he took a look at us. I had to raise my head up to see his head. Later, our guy told me that this was the new king of the area and he had to establish his territory. The tiger stayed for a few seconds and disappeared in the forest, and the whole time my jaw was dropped. Since tigers are in deep forest, getting a clear background for photos is difficult. I would bring a 70-200 2.8 and a 400 2.8 to help get a nice creamy background. Tiger's biting force is 1000 psi compared to lion's 650, and some Siberian tigers can be up to 13 feet compared to lion's 9 feet. They weigh more than lions as well, 660 pounds versus about 400, but they run a little bit slower at 40 miles per hour. However, they have insane jumping capability. In one video I saw online, a tiger leaped up on top of an elephant to attack someone. Number 8 is American bison or an African buffalo. The African buffalo is almost 2,000 pounds of pure muscles, and they are about 9 feet in length. When in Kenya, I saw a herd of buffalo charging at lions, so they really have no fear. Usually it takes multiple lions to kill a buffalo, but I was told that one adult male lion was able to kill a buffalo, so I think they really have similar power. I remember one year I was in Yellowstone. It was a day with heavy snow. We saw one single bison walking on the road, all by himself, and our guy said that adult male bison is so strong that almost no wolves would dare to mess with them. About 10 years ago in May, in Yellowstone, I was at the edge of a cliff photographing some wolves at a valley across the river underneath. That was my first wolf, and there were about 30 people there. And some vehicles stopped in the middle of the road to see what's going on, and there was a traffic jam. I was looking through the viewfinder the whole time, but I felt something, like an earthquake suddenly. I turned around and saw a herd of bison running on the road. Everybody ran behind vehicles, including me, just grabbed the tripod and tried to run away. One of the bison got really agitated and started charging at a girl in her 20s at about 30 yards from me. The girl ran for about 15 feet and fell down into the snow. All of us were shocked as it happened so fast. I only heard a lot of scream. I almost had to close my eyes when the bison got to her. Right before the impact, the bison stopped, literally 2 feet from her face, and looked at her while breathing steam. My heart almost jumped out. 5 seconds passed and it felt like eternity. The bison eventually walked away. And then few seconds later, a guy who appeared to be her boyfriend walked to her from behind a vehicle and asked, "Are you okay?" I guess that relationship might not last long. One of the most iconic photos you can make for bison is when they are covered in the snow, covered in frost. This happens in early morning after heavy snow, so better use a 400mm to photograph them. Number 7 is gorillas, where King Kong is modeled from. They are up to 500 pounds, stand up to 6 to 7 feet, and the biting power is very powerful, 1300 psi. And don't forget, human is only 150 and lion is 700. Gorillas can lift 800 kilograms, while a well-trained man can only lift about 400 kilograms. And a typical gorilla punches can deliver about 2,700 pounds of force, which is 4 times more powerful than the most powerful human being. In order to photograph them, you have to go to Rwanda, Uganda, or Congo, hike a few miles with low light, and it's a long hike to see them. Number 6 is Nile crocodile. They can be as long as 14 feet, 1,700 pounds, and they have the strongest bite force, 5,000 psi. And thankfully, on land, they can outrun you. So during the river crossing of wildebeest and zebra, they could cut their prey in half with just one bite. It was very brutal to see. Number 5 is brown bears. And Kodiak bear is a subspecies of brown bear, and they can be as tall as 9.8 feet while standing up, and they can run 30 miles per hour, which again is still faster than Usain Bolt, and they can also swim. And the heaviest bear can weigh as much as 1,300 pounds. And one swipe can kill an adult moose that is 1,500 pounds and 7 feet. Polar bear can weigh up to 1,000 pounds and 10 feet tall. There are a lot of discussion about whether grizzly bear, brown bear, or polar bear would win a fight. I think it's a tie. I still remember we looked for bears for 6 days in 𝐾𝐸𝐬 National Park one year, and finally we found them. Over 20 of them in deep glacier water, and I still remember that I had to wade in water to photograph them, and their roaring was echoing in the valley. It was pretty spectacular. So the best place to photograph them is in 𝐾𝐸𝐬 National Park and Lake Clark National Park, or in Yellowstone National Park. Mr. Gao said that number 4 is giraffe, but I don't quite agree with that. However, if you have watched John Wick, you remember there was a scene where John Wick get the horse to kick and kill some of the bad guys. Imagine giraffe, which is a lot taller than horse, so they have a much stronger kicking force. People say that the kicking force is about 2,000 psi. And last November in Kenya, I saw a fight between 2 males, and they were using this swing inertia in their neck to hit usually at the genital area of the opponent, and it can be deadly. Also, there is a subspecies of giraffe called the reticulated giraffe, and their marking is just stunning, and they look like brick, and they can be seen in places like Samburu National Park, so definitely check it out if you have a chance to go to Kenya. Number 3 is hippo. Hippo looks very cute, especially baby hippo, which is heart melting. However, every year across Africa, hippos kill an estimated 500 people, making them the world's deadliest mammals after human, and nearly twice as deadly as lions. Hippos can weigh up to 10,000 pounds, and their body length is 17 feet. And they can open their jaw to 150 degrees, almost to a straight line, and their front teeth can reach 1.2 feet. So, and even with their big body and short legs, they can still run 30 miles per hour, still faster than Usain Bolt. They are in the water most of the day, but then at night they would walk quite a few miles on the land to eat grass. They are super territorial. You step in the water near them and you're dead. On land, they are skittish but still very unpredictable, and they can charge you at any time. Their bite force is 2000 psi, and also they have one very deadly weapon, which is when they poop, they have a way to use their tail to flip the poops around so nobody can avoid the attack. And during one evening when we were driving back to the camp, we came across a mother and a baby hippo on our way. They just got out of the water to get to the grass. And number 2 is rhinos. Rhinos weigh up to 6,000 pounds and body length 15 feet. They can run at 30 miles per hour. Rhino is able to lift more than 75 tons and up to 100 tons when they charge. There are 5 subspecies of rhino. 2 of them are in Africa, called the white rhino and black rhino. Though they have the same color, rhinos are killed by poachers for their horns, which are bought and sold on the black market for high prices, leading to most of the living rhino species being endangered. Their horns have proven to have no medicine value. Right now, the northern white rhinos are near extinct. Only 2 females are left in the world, and I was lucky to go to Opejita Conservancy in Kenya to see them 2 years ago. And in 2021, I went to Lewa Conservancy, and I was lucky to see one of the biggest white rhinos that is still living, and her name is Sonia, and she was with a baby. Number 1 is elephant. They can weigh up to 13,000 pounds, the length is 13 feet, and they can run up to 25 miles per hour, so you still can outrun them. Even though they are the most peaceful animals, a juvenile or during the mating season, they can be super aggressive. I went to Kenya hoping to see biggest tusker in the world. I can't imagine how much effort the locals had to put in order to protect him from all the poachers. Since we only had a few days there, they are in the forest, it's impossible to find them. So we kept looking, we kept going to all the possible spots but with no luck. And in the last evening, our group decided to split to look for prey. I didn't have any expectations, so we kind of just kept looking. Our guy saw one coming out from the forest a few miles away. He looked through the binocular and said, no, it can't be him because it's too small. When the elephant got closer, he looked at it and said, no, it's not him because this elephant only had 1 tusk. And then a few seconds later, he said, oh, that is great because of all the mirage and the light from a distance. Didn't see him. So we finally saw Craig walking towards our direction, which was one of the most spectacular moments of wildlife encounter I ever had. So elephants have no enemies in nature except humans. Humans use elephants for travel and do hard work, and they are endangered because they are poached for their tusks. Some organizations protecting rhinos will cut the horn and burn it because rhinos can survive without their horn, but for elephants, if they don't have their tusk, they will die. So those poachers will kill elephants just for their tusks. Legendary photographer Nick Brandt once posted 2 powerful photos. The top one was a herd of elephants in black and white. The one below was a troop of anti-poaching soldiers, each holding the tusk, reflecting the same formation. Each pair of tusks represents an elephant killed. I have the link below so that you can check out the photos. So elephants need our help. You can go to the following links to learn more, such as the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, where they take care of the orphaned elephants after their parents were killed by poachers. And the Remembering Elephant book also donates money for protecting elephants, where you can also purchase from the links below. So I hope that you guys can use all you can to protect these animals. It is just very ironic that 2 of the most powerful animals are the 2 most endangered animals, all because of humans. So, well, it is just sad. Let me know what you think about this, and I'll see you next time.